Hello genius brains, a very warm welcome to your class 8th English class with your learning buddy Aprajita. And let's start a new chapter here, chapter number 11, the world of penguins. Have you seen penguins? Yes, आपने देखे होंगे penguins. Maybe you have not seen in reality, but yes, you must have seen in the magazines, you must have seen in the television, in the geographical channel also. So they are very cute creatures. Yes, penguins अच्छे होते हैं ना, देखने में बड़ा मज़ा आता है उनको. So let's read about the penguins here. Let's warm up first. 3 English boys who were fond of traveling and adventure on the sea found themselves on a coral island after a shipwreck. तो ये जो 3 इंग्लिश बॉयज़ हैं, शिपरेक होने के बाद, ये बहुत घूमना पसंद था इनको, शिपरेक के बाद ये कोरल आइलैंड में पहुंच जाते हैं. From there they travelled to nearby islands on a boat they had built themselves while staying on the coral island. कोरल आइलैंड में रहते रहते उन्होंने एक बोट अपने आप बनाई थी, उससे वो नियरबाई आइलैंड्स पे जाते हैं. The story of their adventures is told by R.M. Ballantyne in a book called The Coral Island. और इनकी जो स्टोरीज़ हैं, इनके एडवेंचर्स की जो स्टोरीज़ हैं, वो R.M. Ballantyne ने अपनी एक बुक में लिखी है, The Coral Island. One of the islands the 3 boys visited was the Penguin Island. और जो जितनी भी उन्होंने आइलैंड्स विजिट किए, उसमें से एक आइलैंड था पेंगुइन आइलैंड, where they saw the most fascinating birds, the penguins. Read what happens there. अब वहाँ क्या होता है उस आइलैंड पे, let's read it here. There go the soldiers, cried Peterkin, as we came in sight of it. How clean their white trousers looked this morning. I wonder if they will receive us kindly. Do you think they are kind, Jack? Don't talk, Peterkin, but pull away and you shall see shortly. Now, there go the soldiers. So Peterkin, the one boy, his name is Peterkin, he cries as we came in the sight of it, and how clean the trousers look. This is a conversation between the boys. As we drew near the island, we found much to laugh at in the movements and appearance of these strange birds. Now they are traveling, these 3 boys, they are traveling in their boat, अपनी बोट में travel कर रहे हैं, और जैसे ही वो आइलैंड के पास आते हैं तो वो उन स्ट्रेंज बर्ड्स को देख के और उनके मूवमेंट्स को देख के they start laughing and they find it very interesting. Having approached to within a few yards of the island, which was a low rock with no other plants on it than a few bushes, we lay on our oars and gazed at the birds. जैसे ही वो आइलैंड पे पहुंचते हैं, वहाँ पे उस आइलैंड में और ज़्यादा कोई प्लांट्स नहीं थे, कुछ बुशेस थे, तो वहाँ वो अपने ओर्स जिससे वो बोट चला रहे थे वो रखते हैं और सरप्राइजिंगली उन बर्ड्स को देखने लगते हैं. With surprise and pleasure, they were returning our gaze with interest. और वो जो बॉयज़ उनको देख रहे थे तो वो भी बड़े इंटरेस्टिंग वे में पेंगुइन्स भी उन बॉयज़ को देख रहे थे. We now saw that their soldier-like appearance was owing to the stiff, erect manner in which they sat on their short legs, bolt upright. अब वो जो सोल्जर लग रहे थे ना, दूर से उनको लग रहे थे कि वाइट ट्राउज़र में कुछ सोल्जर्स हैं, तो वो लुक उनका आ रहा था, उनका जो अपीयरेंस था वो बिल्कुल स्ट्रेट अपने शॉर्ट लेग्स पे खड़े रहते हैं, बोल्ट अपराइट. As Peterkin expressed it, Peterkin ने यही कहा था ना कि the soldiers are there. They had black heads, long sharp beaks, white chests and dark blue backs. उनका जो बैक है वो डार्क ब्लू कलर का होता है और जो उनका चेस्ट है वो वाइट है, उनके बीक शार्प बीक्स होते हैं, and what else, their head are black in color. Their wings were very short. उनके जो wings है वो बहुत छोटे छोटे हैं. And we soon saw that they used them for the purpose of swimming underwater. वो अपने उन wings का कब use करते हैं? जब वो underwater swim करते हैं. There were no proper feathers on these wings, but a sort of scales which also thickly covered their body. Their legs were short and placed so far back that the birds, while on land, were obliged to stand up straight in order to keep their balance. But in the water they floated like other water birds. उनके legs बहुत छोटे छोटे इसलिए वो बस erect manner में वो सीधे खड़े रहते हैं. At first we were so surprised with the noise which they and other seabirds kept up around us that we did not know which way to look, for they covered the rocks in thousands. But as we continued to gaze, we observed several four-legged animals, as we thought, walking in the middle of the penguins. अब उन penguins के बीच में भी there were thousands in number, और उनके बीच में four-legged animals भी थे, जो कि इन penguins के बीच में घूम रहे थे. Pull in a bit, cried Peterkin, and let's see what these are. अब वो क्या थे? They must be fond of noisy company to live with such creatures. To our surprise, we found that these were no other than penguins which had gone down on all fours and were walking among the bushes on their feet and wings. अब वो जो फोर लेगेड उनको लग रहे थे वो पेंगुइन्स ही थे जो कि अपने दो पैर और दोनों विंग्स से they were just walking in the bushes. Suddenly one big old bird that had been sitting on a point very near to us, gazing in silent surprise, became alarmed and running down the rocks fell rather than run into the sea. Now when they saw these boys there, they were alarmed and they started running. It dived in a moment and a few seconds afterwards came out of the water far ahead. उसने जंप किया, डाइव किया वाटर में, जहाँ से जंप किया उससे बहुत दूर जाके वाटर से बाहर निकला. With such a jump and such dive back into the sea again that we could scarcely believe it was not a fish that had leaped in the spot. और उनको ऐसा लग रहा था जैसे कि वो एक फिश ने डाइव किया, जैसे फिश डाइव करती है, like that old bird, the penguin, dived. That beats everything, said Peterkin, rubbing his nose and putting on an expression of surprise and anger. I have heard of a thing being neither fish, flesh nor bird, but I never did expect to live to see an animal that were all three together. ये तो सब चीज़ें इनमें एक साथ ही थी, इन penguins में, at once, in one. But look there, he continued, pointing with a tired look to the shore. Look there, there is no end to it. What has that bird got under its tail? अब उसके tail के नीचे उनको क्या दिखा? We turned to look in the direction pointed out, and there saw a penguin walking slowly along the shore with an egg under its tail. उसके tail के नीचे egg था. There were several others we observed doing the same thing, and we found afterwards that these were a kind of penguins that always carried their eggs. So, उनमें से कुछ penguins ऐसे थे जो हमेशा अपने egg को tail के नीचे carry करते थे. Indeed, they had a most useful pocket for the purpose, just between the tail and the legs. Tail और legs के बीच में उनके एक pocket था जिसमें कि वो egg carry करते थे. We were very much struck with the regularity and order of this colony. और उस colony of penguins, उनमें एक regularity और एक order था. The island seemed to be divided up into squares of which each penguin possessed one and sat in shipgraveness in the middle of it or took a slow march up and down the spaces between. और वो जो islands divided थे उसमें हर एक island पे penguins की ऐसी ही colony दिख रही थी. Some were sitting on their eggs, but others were feeding their young ones in a manner that caused us to laugh not a little. The mother stood on a raised rock while the young one stood patiently below her on the ground. Suddenly the mother raised her head and uttered a number of loud unpleasant noises. और मदर क्या करती थी? खड़ी होती थी और एक unpleasant सा noise निकालती थी. She is going to be ill, cried Peterkin. But this was not the case. Although she looked like it, in a few seconds she put down her head and opened her mouth, into which the young one put his beak and seemed to take something from her throat. ये उसको young one को खिलाने का तरीका था. Then the noise was repeated, the eating continued, and so the operation of feeding was carried on till the young one was satisfied. But what she fed her little one with, we could not tell. लेकिन वो क्या खिला रही थी अपने मुंह के अंदर से, वो छोटा पेंगुइन जो था उसके मदर के मुंह के अंदर से क्या निकाल के खा रहा था, that they didn't knew. Now just look over there, said Peterkin in an interested tone. If that isn't the worst piece of motherly conduct I ever saw. That wicked old lady penguin has just thrown her young one into the sea, and there's another about to follow her example. तभी पीटरकिन ने देखा कि एक बहुत ओल्ड पेंगुइन ने क्या किया, एक छोटे से पेंगुइन को सी में फेंक दिया और दूसरी भी ऐसे ही करने जा रही थी. This indeed seemed to be the case, for on the top of a steep rock close to the edge of the sea, we observed an old penguin trying to get her young one into the water, but the young one seemed very unwilling to go and moved very slowly towards her. At last she went gently behind the young bird and pushed it in a little towards the water, but with great tenderness, as much as to say. ये क्यों कर रही थी वो? क्योंकि वो स्विमिंग सिखाना चाहती है अपने यंग वंस को. They want that they should learn to swim, and this is the way they do it. Don't be afraid, dear, I won't hurt you, my little one. But no sooner did she get it to the edge of the rock, where it stood looking thoughtfully down at the sea, then she gave it a sudden hard push, sending it head first down the slope into the water, where its mother left it to swim to the shore as it best could. धीरे धीरे वो बिल्कुल रॉक के एज तक पहले तो जेंटली लेके आई उस बेबी पेंगुइन को, एंड आफ्टर दैट वहाँ से जब वो नहीं कूद रहा था तो पीछे से एक हार्ड पुश दिया, जिससे कि वो बेबी पेंगुइन जो है वो पानी में चला गया और अपने आप वो स्विम करके शोर तक बाहर निकल आया. We observed many of them doing this, and we thus learned that this is the way in which old penguins teach their children to swim. जैसा कि मैंने अभी आपको बताया कि ये तरीका है पेंगुइन्स का अपने बेबीज को स्विमिंग सिखाने का. Scarcely we had finished observing this, we were surprised by about a dozen of old birds jumping into the most unsafe and funny manner towards the sea. और ये फिनिश हुआ नहीं था देखना उनका, तभी उन्होंने देखा कि डजन ऑफ ओल्ड बर्ड्स वो जंप कर रहे हैं कहाँ, बड़े अनसेफ मैनर में और फनी मैनर में सी में. द बीच हियर वॉज अ स्लोपिंग रॉक, एंड व्हेन दे केम टू इट some of them jumped down in safety, but others lost their balance and rolled and fell down the slope in the most helpless manner. क्योंकि वहाँ स्लोप था. The instant they reached the water, however, they seemed to be in their proper place. जैसे वो पानी में चले जाते तो वो proper place पे अपने पहुँच जाते. They dived and bounded out of it and into it again with the greatest ease, and so diving and bounding, for they could not fly. वो fly नहीं कर सकते. They went rapidly out to sea. On seeing this, Peterkin turned with a grave face to us and said, "It's my opinion that these birds are all completely and entirely mad, and that this is a magic island." Peterkin ने अपने दोनों फ्रेंड्स से ये बोला कि मुझे ये देख के लगता है कि जो बर्ड्स हैं ना, ये जो पेंगुइन्स हैं, ये completely mad हैं. Because they were doing all these kinds of things, the actions which they were doing, it made Peterkin think this. I therefore say that we should either put about ship and fly in terror from the spot, or land bravely on the island and fight as hard as we can. I vote for landing, so pull in, lads, said Jack, giving a stroke with his oar that made the boat turn. In a few seconds we ran the boat into a little bay where we had her fast to a piece of coral. and running up the beach entered the ranks of the penguins armed with our sticks and our spears. और ये तीनों इन्होंने लैंड करने का सोचा उस आइलैंड पे और थोड़ी देर में वो पेंगुइन्स के बीच में थे. We were greatly surprised to find that instead of attacking us or showing signs of fear at our approach, these strange birds did not move from their places until we took hold of them and merely turned their eyes on us in wonder as we passed. और जब ये वहाँ से जा रहे थे तो they were very surprised to see कि उन्हें देखने के बाद भी वो पेंगुइन्स अपनी जगह से नहीं हिली, क्योंकि इन्होंने सोचा था कि they would like start attacking us, कि उनको देख के they would see the people coming towards them and वो अटैक करना शुरू कर देंगे, लेकिन पेंगुइन्स अपनी जगह से हिली भी नहीं. There was one old penguin, however, that began to walk slowly towards the sea, and Peterkin took it into his head that he would try to stop it. So he ran between it and the sea and waved his stick in its face. But this proved to be a determined old bird. It would not go back. In fact, it would not cease to advance, but battled with Peterkin bravely and drove him before it until it reached the sea. Had Peterkin used his stick, he could easily have killed it, no doubt, but as he had no wish to do so cruel and act merely out of sport, he let the bird escape. He was just playing with that bird. We spent full 3 hours on this island. अब उन तीनों ने 3 hours spend किए उस coral island पे. Watching these strange birds, उस island पे उन्होंने 3 hours spend किया और इन strange birds को देखते रहे. And when we finally left them, we all three decided after talking that they were the most wonderful creatures we had ever seen, and further we thought it probable that they were the most wonderful creatures in the world. So उनके साथ 3 hours spend करने के बाद finally they thought कि ये जो creatures इन्होंने देखे हैं ये world में सबसे सुंदर creatures हैं. Okay, and this is written by R.M. Ballantyne. Okay children, wasn't it interesting? Yes, the penguins are really very interesting birds. Now the comprehension here, darken the correct option in OMR sheet. We lay on our oars and gazed the birds. Here lay on means put down, arranged, slept on, none of these. Lay on our oars means put down. They kept down their oars. Pull in a bit, cried Peterkin, and let's see what these are. Here pull in a bit means pull back the oars, stop the boat, go a little closer, all of these. It means pull in a bit means stop the boat. On seeing this, Peterkin turned with a grave face to us. Grave means funny, serious, sad, all of these. Grave face means a serious face. He made a very serious face. Where we made her fast to a piece of coral. Made her fast means tied the boat to, rowed the boat towards, quickly went to, none of these. They tied the boat. Now, let's move further. Fill in the blanks. Completely under appearance, feathers. As we drew near the island, we found much to laugh at in the movements and dash of these strange birds. Strange birds के movements और क्या थे? Appearance. So write down appearance here. R-A-N-C-E. There were no proper dash on these wings. No proper feathers on these wings. F-E-A-T-H-E-R-S. What has that bird got? Dash its tail. Under its tail. There was something under their tail. It's my opinion that these birds are dash and entirely mad. These birds are completely Completely and entirely mad. Fine, children? Now next is, say if the given statements are true T or false F. Penguins walk on two legs. Yes, true. Penguins can swim like fish. True. The island on which penguins had a lot of trees and bushes. No. False. Penguins can sometimes walk on all fours. Yes, this is true. They use their wings also as their legs. Answer the following questions. What gave the penguins a soldier-like appearance? The white chest of the penguins gave them the soldier, and the black head, their black head and the white chest gave the appearance of the soldier. Now the next question is, describe the order and regularity in the penguin colony. The penguin colony, they were divided, the island was divided in squares, and on each square the penguin was there, and they had the same, some were feeding, some were looking after their eggs, and some were feeding their young ones, and in all the squares the same thing was being done. So there was a regularity in the penguin colony. How did the penguins feed their young ones? Why were the boys amused? The mother penguin used to go on the raised rock. She stood on the raised rock, and the young penguin, the baby penguin stood on the ground, and then from there the mother penguin made a very strange noise, She put her head up and made a very strange noise, and after that she put her head down, and the young one put the beak inside its mother's mouth and took something to eat. In this way, the mother penguins feed the young penguins. If that isn't the worst piece of motherly conduct I ever saw, why did Peterkin think that mother penguin's behavior was nasty? When Peterkin saw that old penguin, she was taking the young penguin at the edge of the rock, and from there she threw the young one in the sea. And this was a very nasty behavior for Peterkin when he saw this, that how cruel this mother penguin is. Why did Peterkin think that the penguins were entirely mad? When Peterkin saw all these behaviors of the penguins and the way they threw their children in the sea, he thought that they were entirely mad, because he didn't knew that this was the way the penguins used to teach swimming to their young ones. Now children, let's move further. Grammar. We use can to talk about ability in the present or future. Can हम कब use करते हैं? जब हम ability show करते हैं to talk in present or future. Tom is tall as he can reach the top shelf. Tom is tall and he can reach the top shelf. Can you swim? I can come and see you tomorrow. Future की बात. Okay? Note that the negative of can is cannot, can't. Grandfather is old now and he can't walk far. In the present tense, be able to is a little more formal and less usual than can. Suresh is able to speak 4 languages. Present tense में is able to ज़्यादा use होता है. Suresh is able to speak 4 languages. We prefer will able to can when we are talking about future. Future के बारे में भी जब हम बोलते हैं तो can की जगह पे ज़्यादातर हम will be able to लिखते हैं. I will be able to see the exhibition tomorrow. Suresh will be able to get the job soon. For ability in the past, we use could or was or were able to. Could is more usual. Gopi could ride a bicycle when he was 5. और ये भी लिख सकते हैं, Gopi was able to ride a bicycle when he was 5. He could run very fast when he was a school boy. If we are talking about what happened in a particular situation, we use was or were able to. Could is not used for past action which really happened. जो really हुआ है जो work, उसके लिए हम could नहीं use करते. A girl fell into the river, but fortunately we were able to save her from drowning. अब wrong sentence क्या होगा? Fortunately we could save her from drowning. We could save her from drowning is a wrong sentence. He ran fast and so was able to catch the bus. This is the right sentence. और wrong sentence क्या होगा? And so could catch the bus. अगर हम लिखें he ran fast and so could catch the bus. No, this is the wrong sentence. Could ability in the past and was able to ability plus action. Now compare the following. He could lift the box. He had the ability to lift the box, but we don't know whether he lifted the box. So now in negative statements, however, could may be used in place of was or were able to. He ran fast, but he couldn't catch the bus. He wasn't able to catch the bus. Now complete these sentences by choosing the correct words. If both the answers are correct, write the more likely one. यहाँ आपको दो ऑप्शंस दिए गए हैं, इसमें से जो करेक्ट ऑप्शन है उसे हमें ब्लैंक में फिल करना है. एंड इफ यू फील कि दोनों ही लगाने से करेक्ट सेंटेंस बन रहा है तो जो ज्यादा अप्रोप्रिएट है दैट वी हैव टू यूज. Luckily I had my camera with me, so I took some photos. Could was able to, so I was able to take some photos. Next is I finish the work tomorrow. Can or will be able to. I will be able to finish the work tomorrow. So here we write down, this is more appropriate, will be able to. When he was very young, he play tennis very well. Can or could. He could play tennis very well. This sum is very easy. Anyone do it. Can will be able. Anyone will be able to do it or can able. Okay. Anyone can do it or anyone will be able. This is more appropriate. At the age of 5, he read very well. Can could. At the age of 5, he could read very well. He is very strong. He lift the box. Can could. He is very strong. He can lift the box. You read the alphabet when you were 3. Can or could. Could you read the alphabet when you were 3? So children, this way fill in the rest of the sentences. Now speaking skills. Look at this picture and speak few lines. Compare your answers with the others. If a picture is shown to you, कोई भी पिक्चर आपको दिखाई जाती है तो उसको देख के उसके बारे में कुछ लाइंस आपको बोलनी है. If there are any differences, decide which answers are correct before your teacher. आपकी टीचर ने कोई पिक्चर दिखाया आपको, उसके बारे में आपको बताना. You have to speak in the class. Now writing skills. After reading the chapter, you must have learnt a lot about the various habits and behaviors of penguins. Write a short article on penguins. अब पेंगुइन के बारे में तो बहुत कुछ पढ़ लिया आपने चैप्टर में, तो एक छोटा सा आर्टिकल लिखिए पेंगुइन्स के बारे में. व्हाट आर देयर बिहेवियर, हाउ दे बिहेव एंड व्हाट सरप्राइजिंग थिंग्स यू सॉ इन द बिहेवियर ऑफ द पेंगुइन्स. सो नाउ द वैल्यूज. The world of nature is so beautiful and amazing. We should preserve and protect them. देखिए, a penguins are such an amazing creature. ऐसे ही हमारे नेचर में बहुत सारी चीजें, ऐसे अमेजिंग चीजें हैं एंड awesome and amazing things are there in our nature. Our nature has given us and it's our duty to preserve them. उनको नुकसान नहीं पहुंचाना है, उनको डैमेज नहीं करना है. We need to preserve them. So children, we end up our chapter here and I hope you enjoyed this chapter. You had come to know many things about the penguins. So stay tuned for the new video. We'll meet soon with a new chapter. Till then, bye.